Mario Kart World released 1 month ago today, and while there is a lot of fun to be had here, there are also many problems across the game. Some are minor issues, and others just make me scratch my head, because whoever thought some of these were a good idea, oh my god. Today we're going to be reviewing Mario Kart World, explaining the pros and cons I have with this game. Before we dive in, most of my viewers aren't subscribed to my channel. We're getting very close to 200 subscribers, so if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. Any support is greatly appreciated. Without further ado, let's dive into my review of Mario Kart World. The main reason anyone plays Mario Kart is for the racing, obviously. If you fail to nail the controls and feel of Mario Kart game, the game will fail. Thankfully, Mario Kart World absolutely nails the feel of Mario Kart. This game uses what many people call the low floor high ceiling method. For those who don't know, a low floor means that a game is simple for anyone with any experience to jump into and play. Mario Kart has always needed you to only understand the three main controls. Hold A to move forward, use the left stick or turn the controls to turn your vehicle, and press L or ZL to use your item. A high ceiling is when a game allows for a variety of mechanics and allows highly skilled players to have a lot of fun with the game. You'll start by learning the basic mechanics such as drifting, tricking, charge jumps, rail grinding, and wall riding. And using these mechanics in cool ways allows you to do things like this. Or this. Or even this. Which I can't do myself, so I'm showing you via time trial replays. The racing in this game is truly incredible, but what are good mechanics if the track designs aren't fun? Let's talk about the tracks. Mario Kart World only has 30 tracks, the shortest since Mario Kart DS, which is 32, and set the standard for the amount of tracks in a Mario Kart game. But all of these tracks are, in my opinion, really fun. Even the simpler tracks like Mario Bros. Circuit have cool things you can do. These tracks aren't just fun on a top tier level, they're fun on a simplistic level as well. This is probably the best selection of tracks ever in a Mario Kart game. Here are some of my personal highlights. Boo Cinema is such a cool theme for a track. A movie theater where you drive into the screen is such a great idea, and it's allowed for me to make 2 moderately successful shorts, which is exactly what I want from a track. Bowser's Castle feels more unique compared to the more recent examples. Going past Bowser's Mouth at high speed is always a blast. Great Question Block ruins the track with some incredible shortcuts. Even if you're not a complete tryhard, there are some simple but fun shortcuts here. Sky High Sundae feels like the same track from 8 Deluxe, but elevated to a whole new level. The variety of shortcuts here is really fun. Wario Stadium is a lesson to us all in patience. Save a track until you can elevate it to a point where it's unrecognizable. This course is just so fun to play. However, there are some courses that I do take issue with, the in-between tracks. For those who don't know, Mario Kart World also consists of tracks in between courses. You start on one track, drive to the next, and then do one lap of the track you're driving to. There are some of these which are elevated by this, such as Peach Stadium to Rainbow Road, but there are others that are so negatively impacted that I'd rather they weren't in the game. Talking about Peach Stadium again, but going from Peach Stadium to Cooper Beach is quite literally a straight line. Now, straight lines in this game can work if they're not extremely long and have more to them that make them interesting. Take Wario Stadium for example. This track has a couple of straightaways, but there's walls, rails and jumps to make it more interesting. Plus, they're short enough to not make you want to tear your hair out. Then, when you get to Cooper Beach, it's 1 lap of what is normally a 5-lap course. Seriously, was 2 laps too hard to program, at least for one track? More people would enjoy the in-between tracks if they were better designed, because there are some interesting aesthetics here. But don't worry, we'll get back to these in-between tracks very soon. Moving on to items, Mario Kart World has added a bunch of new items to the game. There are still the classics like mushrooms, bananas, shells, bullet bills and stars, but the new items are hit and miss in my opinion. Returning from Mario Kart Wii is the Mega Mushroom, which now makes you big, gives you a speed boost and invincibility. It feels like a revamp of an already great item. We also have the Ice Flower, which is literally just a fire flower but different. I'm not even sure why this was added to the game, but I guess it's nice. The Question Block gives you a bunch of coins and spreads coins behind you. I wish it didn't let the racers behind you pick up coins, but this is the better of the 2 new coin items. Speaking of the other coin item, the coin shell fires a shell in front of you that stays at the center of the track, hitting anyone in the center. This item doesn't help you since it's easy to dodge, it moves so fast that you only get a couple of coins and your opponents get around 5 each. An item that helps your opponents more than you is never good. The hammer throws a few hammers in front of you. It's hardly ever useful, being too direct and too short range to ever have an impact. It would be my least favourite item if it wasn't for the absolute disaster of an item that is Kamek. Kamek changes you into a nearby enemy and puts more of those enemies in front of you as hazards. This is the method to unlock most of the game's characters, and it is so inconsistent. The most consistent method to get all the characters is to go into 2-player mode, have one character sit still, and another character get items and try to transform the player. Collectively, for all of the characters, I spent 3 hours doing this method, which is not fun. But what is less fun is racing on the same track time after time after time and getting nothing. Knowing that the dumb look of this game is the only thing preventing me from playing as characters I want to play as. This game's items are mostly carried by returning favourites, and it's unfortunate that the new items aren't on the same level. Moving on to characters, Mario Kart World has the most characters in series history, having a total of 50 characters, 24 of which having at least one alternate costume. There are many characters you expect to see in a Mario Kart game, like Mario, Peach, Bowser, DK, King Boo, Wario, Waluigi, Rosalina, and so many more. There's also some characters you don't expect to see, such as Nabbit, Piranha Plant, Dolphin, Goomba, Parabiddybuddy, Snowman, Cow, and Fishbone. Yep, you can drive a car or bike as a dead fish. There's even some funny kart combos you can have, like Dolphin on a Dolphin Dasher, Parabiddybud in a Buggybud, and Stingbee in a Bumblebee. Yep, you can be a bee in a Bumblebee. There's also a kart called Lil Dumpy, and I'll leave you to make your own jokes there. Despite the large cast, there's still a few of strange absences. Obviously, all the non-Mario characters from 8 Deluxe, Link, Inkling, Villager, and Isabelle have all been removed. The clone characters have been removed, aside from the babies and technically Dry Bones, but despite this, we're still missing characters like Funky Kong, Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, Kamek, who's no item, the Koopalings, Petey Piranha, and King Bomb. Now, some of these were tour exclusives, but it still feels like a missed opportunity. Not only that, but the character selection screen feels like a downgrade from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There's 2 ways of sorting the roster. The first is an absolute mess if you don't press sort. It starts off fine, despite the fact that characters take up multiple screens. Then you get this weird hybrid of characters and costumes as you move along. But if you press the sort button, then you organise characters and costumes together. But this is still inferior to how Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had its menu. Sometimes the simplicity just works a lot better. Well, I think we've covered a good amount without talking about the main modes. Let's dive into all the different modes of the game. The Grand Prix mode is a simple 4-race competition where you race on a set of tracks aimed for first place. While this mode is okay, the main issue with this mode is that they're mostly in between tracks. Now, some of these, such as Whistle Stop Summit to DK Spaceport, are fine, but most of them are painful. Let's return to my favourite punching bag, Peach Stadium. In the Shell Cup, you go from Crown City to Peach Stadium, but when you get there, it's just a loop. It's not even the track itself. What's even the point? Grand Prix mode is just okay in my eyes, but it had so much more potential than this. Knockout Tour is the new mode added to Mario Kart World. In Knockout Tour, you play a 6-section course where the 4 players in last place are eliminated at the end of each section. There's no stopping between sections, you just keep going until the end. The mode is fun, but it gives me an opportunity to highlight a problem with the CPUs in this game. The more skilled you play, the harder the CPUs. I'm not even kidding, if you're doing things such as drifts, tricks, and so many other things that make you go faster and take skill, the CPUs will start adapting. The problem is that you're more likely to win by picking a fast combo such as Bowser on the Real Racer, grab a load of coins early on, then just spend the race in first place, dodging everything that comes your way. It's insane to me that this works. I could make an argument that Nintendo doesn't want you to play this game, but don't worry, we will get to that. Next up we have Time Trial, and I mean, what can I say? It's Time Trial. You race solo and try to be the fastest time. It's as good as it is in every game, I really don't have much to add to this. Next up we have the Free Roam mode, and I know this is a weird place in the video to put it, but I'd forgotten about this until I finished writing the script, and the script flowed so well from section to section, this was the only real place I'd left to put it, so let's just make this quick. Free Roam lets you drive anywhere. There's 3 variations of challenges across the map: P-switches, question tiles, and Peach medallions. You need 10 of each of these as part of the mirror mode unlock requirements. The question tiles that eats the track, but the P-switches and Peach medallions are a nightmare without a guide. Okay, that about covers it. Back to the rest of the video. The versus mode is the same as always. Pick a track and race. There's only one valid mode for versus mode in my opinion, and that's open. Open is the simple thing you're used to. You pick a track, you race, you pick the next track, and then you race again. Random includes the in-between track, which I'm not a fan of, wish there's a way to turn it off. And connected is just the online selection, but you can quit out of them and pick a track like open, so why would you not just pick open instead? Even if you want to do connecting tracks, you can still do them in open mode, and just plan out your route ahead of time so it feels like connected. I don't know, it's weird to me. When I play with friends, we draw tracks out of a hat to emulate a random feel, but in my opinion, this shouldn't be necessary. We should be able to pick what tracks we want to draw from random within the game itself. There's also features like item customization in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe which are absent. A lot of areas of this game feel half-baked. And speaking of half-baked, Battle Mode has been greatly downgraded from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Firstly, there's only 2 modes down from the 5 and 8 Deluxe. Gone are the unique Bob on Blast, Shine Thief and Renegade Roundup. Instead, we have the basic Balloon Battle and Coin Runners. In their same downgraded versions they've retained since Mario Kart Wii. I know it's not a main mode, but it really felt like such an afterthought in this one. And as for the battle tracks themselves, we have 8. And you know how when they made Mario Kart 8 originally, and the battle tracks were just 8 tracks from the main racing mode put in the battle mode? And you know how everyone hated that, and so in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe they went out of their way to fix that, making 8 brand new tracks? Well, we've regressed, and they've given us 8 tracks again that are just remakes of regular race tracks. Why? The 2 saving graces for these battle tracks is that 2 of them are dedicated battle tracks, even if they're just circles. And we're not limited to going off track like in the normal races, but most of these tracks feel too big and it feels difficult to chase any of the objectives and actually battle. Let's just cover the modes themselves. In Coin Runners, you have 3 minutes to pick up as many coins as you can and stop your opponents from grabbing coins. Once again, the openness of the tracks makes it so that you hardly interact with your opponents and just end up collecting coins and not really interacting. Smaller maps would have made this so much better. Now on to Balloon Battle. In Balloon Battle, you're given 3 minutes to break other players' balloons. If you have less than 5 balloons, you can grab yourself a balloon by hitting an opponent with a mushroom or a star. If you lose all your balloons, then you're out of the game. No respawning. It's kind of a disappointment that we can't change the timer or turn it off, because that changes fundamentally how you play the game. It just feels like the game wants to restrict how you play it. That's the 3rd tab mentioned this game being restricting to play. I wonder if there's some talking point I'm leading into. You know, I was originally going to praise the online of this game. And I will. Knockout Tour is great, and I'm sure Battle Mode isn't any worse than it is normally. But the main racing mode online is just... we need to talk about it. So before update 1.1.2, the normal racing mode will give you 3 track options. Most of the time these were all connecting tracks. You could, however, pick the random option and get the standard 3-lap tracks. As a result, most players started picking random to ensure they could play a standard 3-lap track. But in patch 1.1.2, this was changed. Now, whenever you pick random, there's a high chance that you get one of the connecting tracks from the options provided. This has caused a lot of backlash from the community, but I feel that because people are mostly hearing these complaints from the players who enjoy playing competitively, I feel that some fans are quick to dismiss their complaints. I'm going to try my best to explain why I think this is a decision that is bad for everyone and how it negatively affects all players. First of all, I want to make it clear to the casual and competitive community that online mode is not a competitive area. It is intended for players of all skill levels. So if Nintendo had made random be a 25% chance or even 50% chance to get a random connecting track, I would have been okay with this. The devs put a lot of effort into all these connecting tracks and they want to show them off. But for the random option to pick from just the 3 tracks provided is insane. There are 30 standard 3-lap tracks and 201 connecting tracks. Yes, I counted. There is no way that even the most die-hard defenders of the decision like all 201 connecting tracks. All this decision does is increase the chance of everyone being unhappy. Now, I'm a player who prefers to play with other people over CPUs, which leaves me with two options. Either I play online with people of similar skill level, but be forced to play on tracks I don't like, or I play with friends and family on tracks I do like, which usually results in me either racing how I enjoy and leaving everyone in the dust, or playing slower and having less fun. I don't expect my family and friends to train and reach the same skill level as me, but my main reason for enjoying the standard tracks is the crazy skills I can pull off. And when you have one player who's playing like this, and another player who's playing like this, it can be a lot less fun when one of us ends up constantly getting positioned between 4th and 10th, and the other one is miles in front. By the way, I want to shout my mum for recording that bit of gameplay. Thank you, mum, for making this part of the video way more authentic. Overall, Mario Kart World is a great game with some pretty big flaws. I really hope Nintendo sees sense and changes some of their decisions, but I highly doubt it. Given this game a number score, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. If you enjoy the single player Mario Kart or playing with friends, you'll enjoy this game a lot. Otherwise, you might want to hold off until a future update. Just kidding, we've got a B and a Bumblebee. 10 out of 10, game of the year, goodbye.